guys, and welcome to this week's video. If this is your first time here at Texas Magnolia Home, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. And this week's video is going to be a DIY tutorial to teach you guys how to create that beautiful wood bead garland that you see all over Pinterest. And we will also be giving it a CCD type look. Now, if you're Catholic like myself, I'm not talking about catechism. I'm talking about chippy, chunky, distressed type goodiness. Okay, so what supplies do you need? First off, you'll need wooden beads. I picked these up at Michael's. There are 3 variations of sizes, but unfortunately the 2 larger sizes actually didn't have holes. So next you'll need a drill to drill the holes through. The next item is twine. This will be you will intertwine this throughout the wooden beads to create the garland. Then you can use chalk paint, milk paint, acrylic paint. I'm even also using stain to create my look with the garland. Next, you'll need your brushes. So I have these chalk paint brushes that I'll use to put on the layers of paint. Next, I have a scraper. This is actually going to help with creating that chippy look that I'm going for. A sanding block if you're looking to distress your items. And then lastly are gloves and cheesecloths. The cheesecloths are disposable for staining, and then the gloves are obviously for your protection of your hands, and they're disposable at the end as well. Alright guys, now let's get started.
Alright, so let's pull out the power tools. Now you can see my smaller wooded beads did have holes, but like I said before, the medium and larger sizes did not. So the first step in this process is going to pull out all the wooded beads and start drilling out holes to create this beautiful garland. Alright, so now off to the medium-sized balls. I will say if I did this again, I would have taken a scrap piece of plywood or 2x4 and drilled the balls on top of them and through the plywood because they were a lot smaller, so they were a little bit more tricky to hold on to. But ultimately, it really wasn't that hard to do. Alright, so the first step into creating this chippy, distressed look on these wood bead garland is taking a cheesecloth, and what I'm going to actually do is cut it down. You don't need that much. These things are disposable, they're not meant to be kept, so don't worry about it, and you can use the remainder of it for another project. Now the first thing is going to be dipping it into my mid-wax stain, which is the color Jacob's Bean, and then I'm actually just going to open it up and roll the balls around in there and let the stain just do all the work itself. Once I get all these balls done, I'll just let it dry for about 10 to 15 minutes and go on to the next step. Alright, so now up to step 2. The first chalk paint that I decided to use is some that I had left over from Walmart. It's the Waverly brand, and the color is Plaster. Now, when doing this step, I would suggest that pretend like you're in kindergarten again. Don't color inside the lines, and just do it messy, sporadically. You don't even need perfect coverage. That actually will help give a better look when trying to make it aged and distressed looking. I don't know, I even threw it in my hands and rolled the balls around, and I love the end result and how it all came around. Okay, so now off to some fun milk paint. I picked this up at Michael's. It's called Monument Gray, and I'm just basically now going in and even less sporadically putting on this paint. I would think about it like putting spots on a Dalmatian, or just put it in just random little places. Make sure you let some of that stain still pull through. Make sure you let some of that, white pull through. It will all make sense towards the end when we start getting that chippy, distressed look. Now in this little clip right here, I'm showing how I actually put excess paint onto the wood bead and I'm letting it drip. This is going to look really, really gorgeous. Guys, you have to trust me. When we get towards the chipping and distressing towards the end, you'll see exactly why I decided to use this technique. Okay, so now for a pop of color. This milk paint is also from Michaels. It's called Cabinet Maker's Blue. And basically on one of the pieces of garland that I'm making, it's going on my DIY jug lamp in 5 minutes video. I'll link that up above. And so I just wanted a pop of color that kind of accented and went with that lamp. So I found this, and yeah, I'm doing the same drippy effect on all of these beautiful beads. Okay, so the last painting step is going back in with that same white plaster chalk paint, and you just want to take your brush and by all means don't be a Picasso, just make sure you're leaving a little bit of the layers of the other paint colors in the stain. Alright, now let's get crafty and creative. You'll need a scraper and a sanding block. Now what I wanted to do, as you can tell, you know, the colors are peeking through, but I wanted them to peek through even more. So I took a scraper and I just chipped off the different layers of paint that I put on, and then took my sanding block and to distress it a little bit and clean it up. I don't know, the end result in my eyes was gorgeous. Okay, so now I basically just cut a piece of twine in a length that is going to help me make the design that I'm needing for this being an accent piece to my lamp that I created. You know, and you don't even have to do this in the design that I did it. You could just do one long strand. It's really, you can do whatever you want and be as creative as you want, placing this throughout your home. I am also going to make a separate strand that's going to be straight and show you guys, you know, how else you can, you know, use one of these wood garland beads in your home. It's like every time when I do a project, another idea comes in my head. So this is what I'm showing you guys. I just want to make like a cute little sash to put on the garland. So I had these leftover wood beads, and then I had plenty of the jute cord left over. So I cut them, probably about 11 or 12 of them at approximately 8 to 10 inches, and I'm just hot gluing them onto the bead. So surrounding the hot glue on either side of the cord, then I typically, maybe this is a hack or not, but I stick my fingers in the water. It makes it easier to shape the hot glue without burning yourself, because I think we can all say we've all burnt ourselves with hot glue. It is not the most pleasant feeling. So lastly, once I covered the entire bead, I took one more piece of the jute cord and I wrapped it around 2 or 3 times and then tied a really tight knot, and then yeah, it was ready to go onto the garland. And I don't know, it's just another element and level of cuteness that I absolutely love.
So it's really that simple to create. I have 2 different kinds of styles. This is the one that I showed you in the video with the blue accents and how to bead it that way to put it around a lamp. This is a jug lamp that I created. I'll have it at the end of the video if you're interested in making this lamp too. And then also this is more of just the traditional garland style, more farmhouse, you know, there's no accent color in this besides the gray. And then it has a stain and the white plaster chalk paint, and then the cute little tassels that I made. You know, these probably in a store, I would just assume would probably cost like $3 to $5, and I just use leftover materials, and if I had to guess how much it specifically cost me, I would say like 10 or 15 cents. So don't be afraid to try these things at your house as well. And if you were one of the guys subscribed to my channel, y'all all know about this giveaway. Now I'm just sporadically gonna go through my comments from this video, and then I'll stop at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it looks like the winner is Norma Mendoza. So Norma, make sure you contact me and I will send you the haul. Alright guys, until next time, I'll see y'all next week. Bye!